let's look at the playoff picture and get out of here. So, the AFC, Buffalo, Kansas City, clinched. Cincinnati is the 3 seed ahead of Baltimore. Tennessee is the 4 seed. For now, they're only one game up on technically a half game up on Jacksonville because the Jags beat them. Baltimore, the 5 seed. Chargers, the 6 seed. Miami, the 7 seed. We thought this was going to be like kind of stock image sort of playoff picture stuff heading down the stretch. There's chaos erupting on both sides of the bracket. And I love it. The Jets and the Pats are out. Jacksonville's coming strong. You don't want to count out the Raiders.
You can count them out, I think.
I wouldn't count out the Browns. I would definitely count out the Steelers.
Why would you not count out the Browns?
I mean, I don't know. These teams are kind of collapsing, dude.
Well, Breech, let me ask you this. Where are the Bengals going to finish in this list? How high can they get? Brinson says 1.
I think the Bengals get the 1 seed.
You better hope they don't play the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. That's all I'll say. Made him snort. What do you think? Breech, unmute your microphone, numbnuts.
The Bengals were 5-4 going into their bye.
Hold on. I'll tell you what. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, Breech will tell us where the Bengals will finish next. Okay. Breech, where did the Bengals finish in the AFC standings?
They were 5-4 after the bye. And, they had that stretch where they're going to Tennessee. Then they had to play the Chiefs. And they were playing Deshaun Watson's Browns. The Browns that Joe Burrow had never beaten. Then they had to play Tom Brady's Buccaneers in Tampa. And it was just like, there's no way they can win all of those games.
We get it.
And they did. So now that we've gotten this far, I think they can win out. And obviously the big one is the Monday night game, but it's at home. And that's the one against the Bills, the final Monday night game of the year in week 17. And if they win out, they need the Chiefs to stumble once to get the 1 seed. So I don't know if that's going to happen.
No,
so I do not think the Bengals get the 1 seed.
I deeply regret not betting the Bengals to win the AFC North.
Who'd you bet, the Ravens?
I have a lot of Ravens, and I had a chance to get Bengals 2-1, and I really, really regret it.
All right, so
you have me on the podcast every week trying to sell you on the Bengals. You didn't.
I literally did a video saying I think the Bengals will win the Super Bowl. Everyone should bet this. I just forgot to bet them to win the dang division. Okay,
didn't even take his own advice.
I bet the Bengals Niners Super Bowl matchup.
Brinson, which teams are getting in at 6 and 7? I think the Ravens are in at 5. Worst case.
I think so too. Ravens are in. Man, it's tough. I think the wild card for me is, can the Titans get in, or can the Jaguars get in?
Whoever wins that division, that's only one team.
They're only 1 game back. Okay, so the Jaguars are 2 games back.
Yeah, but the Titans lose are 7 and 8. And that's a wrap.
Yeah. I think it's Chargers and Miami are the 2 best teams.
It feels like it's chalk as we sit here. Breech, do you want to make a case for anyone that's on the outside?
I already said I think the Chargers are in. The Dolphins
feel good about that loss.
A little more iffy.
Chargers run the table, but that sounds stupid as saying it out loud.
Yeah, that sounds crazy when you verbalize it.
I could see because look,
have you seen the Raiders schedule? The Raiders are not the dark horse.
They got to face the mighty Steelers next week.
Steelers, Niners at home, Chiefs at home.
And that gets them to 9 and 8.
They're not winning those. They're not winning all 3 of those games.
They're not winning. Yeah, they're max 8 and 9.
So what I was going to say about the Dolphins, though, is that their last 2 games are against the Patriots and Jets, who are both 7 and 7. And so I think there's a chance we see that Dolphins-Jets game in Week 18 for a wild card spot.
What? How many wins? What is the minimum number of wins to get an AFC wild card spot?
9.
Because the Browns host the Saints at Washington at Pittsburgh.
The Browns are not getting to 9 wins.
I would not rule that out.
They may not get to 7 wins.
I would not rule out the Browns 9 wins.
They're not going to the playoffs.
He look better, man. Today he looks a lot better. Or on Saturday he looks a lot better.
You know how low the bar was coming into this game?
I would. Those 3 games are winnable, man.
I'm glad you brought up the Browns. Somebody, I think in the chat, wanted me to talk about Cade York, which I'll only do really quick. He started the season 8 of 8, and since then he's 14 of 22 with field goals. So if I'm the Browns, and he shanked one badly, the Browns were trying to ice the game, and he just kept missing on Saturday night. 14-22, 63% of his field goals since week 5. So yeah, it's definitely mildly concerning if you're a Browns fan.
So, Breech, did you give us a 6 and 7 seed or not for AFC? So
I think the Chargers are 6, and if I want to go on a limb, I'll say the Jets 7. But I feel like you guys are probably right. It's the Dolphins. We're just going to.
I think it's Chargers and Dolphins. I think it's just. I think this holds, but I mean, we said that 2 weeks ago. What about the NFC side of things?
All right, I'll ask again. Either one of you can answer this question.
6 and 7.
Where? No, I'm going to start up top. Where did the Minnesota Vikings end up? Second, third, or fourth?
By the way, we have 4, just for clarity, 4 teams in the NFC: Philadelphia, Minnesota, San Francisco, and Dallas. Minnesota and San Francisco have clinched their divisions. All 4 of those teams have clinched a playoff spot. What was your question, Wilson?
Do the Vikings finish second, third, or fourth in the conference?
Tampa's going to finish. NFC South will finish 4th, 100%.
That we know. All right.
If you get that anything better than minus 10,000, you take that.
Second or third?
6 and 8. They're just in the playoffs. I think San Francisco is 2, Minnesota's 3. I'm going to stick with. It'll cost me money, but I'll stick with it. I think Carolina's going to finish 4, Dallas 5, Detroit, and Seattle is my picks.
Seattle.
I want to say Green Bay, but it's like so ridiculous.
I don't know. Where are you getting Seattle?
They're not that far out.
They're playing terribly, and Geno's lost his luster.
Well, I'm
they have to play the Chiefs this week.
Well, they're going to beat the Chiefs. Geno Smith revenge game. Then he gets the Jets for another revenge game.
There you go. What's the Chiefs revenge angle?
It's he's went to Kansas City one time on his way to the draft and stopped there and hates his town.
All right, fair enough. I would go with Detroit just because they're my sentimental favorite to get in, and then
I really want Detroit to get in.
I don't know if I don't want to trust this Giants team based on the way they played just on Sunday night because they've sort of been iffy. Are they better than Washington, or is Washington better than New York?
I'll repeat this again. I tweeted this to our editor Dan Schneider, but like this is like the 2017 Bills team all over again. You got
I don't know if that's who's that more disrespectful to.
No, it's a team that is not as good as the level of they're not as good as their record. They're playing above their head. They're going to make the playoffs and get smoked in a wild card game. But it's such a solid building block. You should be thrilled if you're a Giants fan about what you're seeing from this Giants team. So actually, I'm going to amend mine. I'm going to say Giants and Detroit.
Yeah, I'm sort of leaning that way. I don't trust. I like Taylor Heineke as in terms of entertaining football, but I wouldn't trust him to like play consistently and not make mistakes. He had a couple mistakes on Sunday night that cost him. Breech.
Are you not entertained?
I tweeted that Taylor Heineke's America's quarterback. I didn't realize it apparently is like terrible. Like people were like, "Oh, I enjoy your mentions." I was like, "What?"
What'd you say he was?
He's like he drinks Busch Light. He runs around. He's a maniac. He's just fun, entertaining quarterback.
Why were people angry about that?
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 49ers 2, Vikings 3, Buccaneers 4, Cowboys 5, Giants 6, Lions 7.
Oh, everyone's on the Lions bandwagon. Don't jinx it.
Lions and Giants.
Well, I was just looking at the Commanders' schedule, and I don't know if they're going to win 2 more games. They still have to face the 49ers, the Cowboys, and then the Browns.
Okay.
The Panthers are idiots for trying to like beat the. I mean, I guess they have to because Steve Wilkes is the coach. They want to win, but like, go lose the Lions next week. Get a high draft pick. Get a quarterback, guys. Come on. Anything else for the playoff race?
Lions, 49ers in the wild card round. That'd be fun.
No, it would not be fun.
Jared Goff going back to California.
It would not be fun for Detroit. I'll tell you
What?
that. They will toss Detroit.
No, they won't.
Lions, Vikings, however.
I don't know if Dan Campbell bites all of their kneecaps off, Brinson. How are they going to play with no kneecaps?
Are you see that's old? That's like talking about Philly fans throwing batteries, man. And
No, we
You don't find that suspicious?
Not at all.
I don't find that suspicious at all.